because they deserve a DA that won't have sex with his employees, because they deserve a DA that won't put money in their own pocket when it should go to benefit children, because we deserve better.
Breaking news just into CNN. The Georgia prosecutor leading the state's election interference case against President-elect Donald Trump is now disqualified.
The case against Trump and more than a dozen others already largely stalled, as you know. The new ruling means that it will be up to the prosecuting attorney's council in the state of Georgia to find another prosecutor to decide on the case.
Hello everybody and welcome to this developing news. Fani Willis is finally disqualified from the case. Why is this important? Before we go into that, I'm glad to welcome you here in this prime time information. For 4 years now, this case has been rolling like a rolling ball. But finally, it came to where it belonged. Justice and rule of law is not what you give to those who feel like they are drunk with power. When you give an idiot power, you set the entire nation in flames. Fani Willis is like an idiot with power. Why do I say that? She wanted to be the one to finally bring down Donald Trump. For what reason? Why do I say that again? The case she filed against Trump, the statute she used to file the case, and the mindset, the people who are prosecuting the case are all made up. They formed into one Trump described as witch hunters, so to speak. He said it's a witch hunt. So if it's a witch hunt, those who are prosecuting it, those who are piloting it are witch hunters. She took a statute that is used to prosecute those who deal with gang-related crimes, conspiratory crimes, crimes that involve syndicates, criminal syndicates. That RICO statute, that is what she used to prosecute Trump for asking questions about an election that was filled with so many improprieties, so many dysfunctionalities, that even if it is one dead person that voted, is still abnormal. That is what she used to say. He said, when he said, find me 11,000 votes, that he meant he should steal the election. Is that how much people lack common sense? Apparently, yes, that's it. That is the case she was. Now, she has succeeded as much as she could. But when you go against somebody with nothing, you're always bound to make mistake. And she made a very heavy mistake. Look at the first interview she had before, or one of the interviews she had before she became the DA, about the conduct or what is expected to be the conduct of somebody who is the DA of a state, of a county, or whatever it is. The moral high ground she created, the holier than thou attitude she presented. Just listen to her before we move on.
Because they deserve a DA that won't have sex with his employees, because they deserve a DA that won't put money in their own pocket when it should go to benefit children, because we deserve better.
That right there, somebody who will not have sex with his or her employee, that will not put money in his pocket. The exact two things she specifically mentioned, exact two. There were many other things. So it bothers down on integrity and greed. She fed on the boat. She started, first of all, she brought her boyfriend into the case. You can do that or you can't, I don't know. But the problem is that he has not tried such a case in his career. He made him special counsel on a RICO case. And then started a sexual relationship with him. No problem, they're consenting adult, right? You are wrong there. And she started getting kicks back because she was overpaying him, and they were junketing from one country to another, from one state to another, holidaying. And he was the piggy bank. So she pays him extra and gets kickback. The two major things she mentioned in her interview to express her moral high ground, to disclose her holier than thou personality. You should not have sex with your employee, and the money that belongs to their people going to somebody's pocket. Both of them. And you say the lady justice is blind. Sometimes she doesn't look. Sometimes it looks like the lady justice is watching with a pure microscope or telescope, seeing everything. So, but what is the lifeline of the case now? Now that she is kicked out of, why was she kicked out? She was kicked out because of misconduct. Let's see, even CNN said why she was kicked out. Even CNN. So when CNN goes that far, you know that something is going on. Let's hear a little bit what CNN was saying, because some people were already saying that she was kicked out because she had sex with her boyfriend. I don't think so. It's not only that. Let's just hear their own perspective. There are a lot of perspective, but just let's start with CNN, the unbiased media.
Caitlin, what can you tell us about this? This is just coming in the last several minutes. This is a big development.
A big development, and a big development that Donald Trump has wanted for a long time. That case against him in Georgia, the criminal case, where it's accusing him and several others of a racketeering conspiracy related to the 2020 election, it's already been paused. Now, it's not even backburnered. This is a case that will be dead in the water because the Georgia Court of Appeals is now saying that Fani Willis, the leader of the prosecution against Donald Trump, the district attorney in Fulton County, Georgia, she should be disqualified from being able to bring that case. The Georgia Court of Appeals is saying that it's a significant appearance of impropriety.
Just right there. Significant appearance of impropriety. Why do I want to know why? Because somebody like this lady on S, look at what she said. She said, people having the gall to call Fani Willis corrupt, all while excusing, ignoring, and giving a pass to a lifelong criminal is unserious, unhinged, and all sorts of goofy. Okay, it's not a case of whataboutism. It's a case of there shouldn't be a sign of impropriety, because as a prosecutor, you are supposed to have a higher standard. You are not a politician. Yeah, it's a political process that brought you into power. But you're not a politician. You maintain balance in the society. You maintain the rule of law, without which the entire civilization breaks down. Politicians are swindlers. They're manipulators. They just do whatever they can to get into power. But the law has a different level of scrutiny on it. That means those who were the custodians of the law are expected to maintain a certain level of dignity within the society and among their equals. So there was a significant appearance of impropriety. Let's go on.
Caused by the conduct of a public prosecutor. That is Willis, how she behaved, how she was speaking about the case, about Trump publicly, about how she was having a relationship with the top prosecutor that was concealed in this, a man named Nathan Wade. All of that, previously, the trial level judge had looked at and said, Fani Willis can stay on this case. We're not dismissing the indictment, but the Court of Appeals is now taking another look and saying the trial judge was wrong. Fani Willis should be disqualified from continuing to lead this case. It would be a long process, or it will be a long process, to replace her, which is why I say this case is dead in the water now.
Yeah. So, of course, she has the right to appeal. She has the right to appeal. But I know with her temperament, she will appeal. But what is the chance that she will win the appeal? The chance is almost not existing, considering the fact that the Supreme Court has already ruled on the immunity of the presidency. You cannot, okay, plus also the standing law that you cannot criminally charge a sitting president. So even if, before you remove every single fact that is considered presidential in that suit, there's nothing, it's a skeleton. Just to throw away the bones. No single meat. So the case is dead. But it's not the case dying that is significant, but she being kicked out of the case. That means somebody else, the judicial committee or something like that, will come in, examine it, select a prosecutor who will not. They didn't disqualify the case. They didn't throw away the case. They didn't throw out the case. Rather, they just disqualified her because of that seeming reasonable sign of impropriety, because it's not about justice being done, but the appearance, the optics that justice is done is as important as justice being done. The optics is as important as justice being done. The appearance of justice being done is as good as justice is being done. Because if it appears that there is an injustice and then in the outcome there is justice, some people, the public opinion might still condemn it. There was significant appearance of impropriety, including the fact that she started dating the main investigator in the case. And they were getting kickbacks. Getting kickback, that's quid pro quo. Maybe not. Maybe not. So I have also, let's see what other media organizations. I think I have something from Fox News. The first information I gave you was from CNN. So it wouldn't mean that, oh, you are liberal media, oh, you are conservative. No, I get different perspective. And this is from CNN saying that, being honest for the first time in their life, the reason because others are spinning it. But this first breaking news, the reporter at the field, not the spinners at the offices, the reporter at the field said, look at the reason the Judicial Council or the appeal court gave. She can still appeal it to the Supreme Court in their state. Now look, let's see what the Fox News was saying about it, and also what they said will be the fate of the case now and in the near future.
From that election interference case, it's coming down right now. The case against Trump and more than a dozen others already largely stalled, as you know. The new ruling means that it will be up to the prosecuting attorney's council in the state of Georgia to find another prosecutor to decide on the case, to take it over and make a decision as to whether or not they continue with it.
The prosecuting attorney's council will now choose a prosecutor who will start Frankensteining the case, because nobody knows how she put the case together. Because the status, RICO status, is not meant for this kind of case. This is election interference, but she managed to turn it into criminal conspiracy, racketeering. It's like going after a group of criminals like the coyotes, the drug lords. That is the case she put together. Whereas this is election. That is how she managed to get both the lawyers, official lawyers of Trump, and the personal lawyers of Trump. Even people who talked by this side were involved. But now the case is out of her hand. It becomes difficult for the next prosecutor to start all over to rebuild the case, because that is the step we're in now. Let's hear more what it's all about, what Fox News is talking about, because I don't really follow yet. Prosecution
of the incoming president.
And former Deputy Assistant Attorney General John Yoo is here. John, does this mean that this is yet another one of the cases against Trump that could go away before he's president?
It's another example, Dana, of this lawfare campaign that was waged by Democrats, boomeranging back on them and falling all around their ears. Anyone who watched this trial, remember, this is the DA who claimed that the entire Trump reelection campaign was something like an organized crime racket that was intending to deprive everyone of our civil rights to vote. But remember, we saw the dramatic testimony over the summer of how DA Fani Willis had hired her boyfriend, essentially, to be the special counsel, overpaid him, and then had him investigate and bring charges against Donald Trump. It's a complete conflict of interest. And if you take a quick look at the Georgia Appeals Court decision here, that's what it says. There's such an appearance of impropriety, an appearance of a conflict of interest, that Fani Willis should not be the prosecutor. I think this spells yet another case that's going to have to either be suspended or more likely just ended and tossed out. It's hard for me to see another Georgia district attorney wanting to take up this flawed case and try to prosecute Trump on these theories that his reelection campaign was some kind of criminal organized crime enterprise.
You see that? So a pure election, complete your campaign is considered to be a racketeering operation. Who is actually mad? Who is really mad? Who is crazy? Who is colo? Is it the Trump campaign or somebody who took what is an official action and twisted it into a criminal action for the purpose of pride? She wants to be the one that succeeded in taking down Trump. Now, the Judicial Watch had an issue with Fani because they are saying that she cooperated with, or she colluded with the DOJ, Department of Justice. She colluded with them, and she also colluded with the JC's committee in filing this case. So the same person who was accusing somebody of racketeering was also involved in racketeering, conspiracy to defraud a citizen. So the point is that the holier than thou of these people is completely mind-blowing. And somehow the chicken is coming to roost. Let's see one or two news magazines and see, especially let me see what Daily Mail has to say. I like getting some information from them. They are a little, not devoid of bias, but at least they sound more reasonable than most of the others. Others have completely lost it. I will read from the Daily Mail shortly. Okay. Here's what Daily Mail said. Fani Willis disqualified from prosecuting Donald Trump in Georgia election case after affair bombshell. Well, that is a clickbait title because it's not just because of the bombshell affair, which has been rehashed a lot of time. As we have already read, it's because of sense of impropriety and misconduct, appearance of misconduct, conflict of interest. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis was disqualified from the Donald Trump election interference prosecution, striking a potential lethal blow to the case. Willis will not be allowed to remain on the case due to her sensational affair with fellow prosecutor Nathan Wade, who stepped down from his post, which she attempted to cover up. Yeah, that is the point. It's not the affair, the attempt to cover it up. Not the affair. If they are consenting adult, but you are supposed to disclose it. You are supposed to disclose it to the defense that I am dating my special counsel. If they consider it, if they are okay with it, no problem. But the fact that she wanted to cover it up, even with all the evidence backing, which was evident in the testimony she gave the last time, even with those evidence, she wanted to deny it, but she was caught. It was too late to deny. Ruling in a 2-1 opinion, the Georgia Appeals Court said she was wholly disqualified from this case and appointed to a significant appearance of impropriety. Significant appearance of impropriety. See that? Significant, not just like guesswork. It's provable. It's obvious. It's obvious. They rush a lot of things. They want to make Trump into a felon. But they fall from grace to grass of a woman who was priding how she was not like others who will be having affair with their subjects. At the end, that was what brought her down. Fani Willis should be disbarred for abusing her power and weaponizing her office to go after her political enemies, wrote Georgia Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene on X. Byron Donalds, Republican fighter, said the political weaponization of our institutions must end. That's reacting to the news of this disqualification. And Charlie Kirk, founder of MAGA Alliance, Turning Point USA, called it a huge legal victory for not only President Trump, but all of the co-defendants who were targeted alongside him. The ruling overturns Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee's decision that allowed Willis and her team to remain on the Trump case despite their faith, as long as Wade left his job as Willis' lead prosecutor. What is the sense behind that ruling? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Two people had an affair. Two people had significant appearance of impropriety. Two people have significant appearance of conflict of interest. And you remove the less subject, and left the main subject who had the power to dictate this particular attitude. It was the prosecutor general, the main DA, that has the power to appoint the lead prosecutor. So if anyone was supposed to suffer, it was supposed to be her and not the subject. But in this case, they put the cart before the horse. Still the same conflict of interest. Everyone knows that the judge was working for the DA or something like that, something close to that. So don't quote me on that anyway. In his ruling, McAfee did point to an order of mendacity around the case in light of the stunning revelations. The latest ruling did not toss out the case itself, although the decision raises barriers that legal experts immediately called potentially terminal. So, the case is on life support. Whether you like it or not, it's on life support. So will it succeed? Will it survive? Even if it survives, even if the new prosecutor takes it, it must be paused. Why? Because the standing DOJ rule that you cannot prosecute criminally a president while in office. That is one. And secondly, the immunity case that was won in favor of this president or ex-president while performing his action as a president. Most of the action that are in these cases were action he performed while in office. And most of them, they overlap so much that it's difficult to separate them without Frankensteining them. That is why I called it Frankensteining. So that is Daily Mail. And I think they, as I said, they are as clear-headed as possible. It is not coming back. It's over, says CNN legal commentator Ele Honing immediately after the news broke. The remedy crafted by the trial court to prevent an ongoing appearance of impropriety did nothing to address the appearance of impropriety that existed at time when DA Willis was exercising her broad patrial discretion about who to prosecute and what charges to bring. The court ruled. The court called it the rare case of which disqualification is mandated and no other remedy will suffice to restore public confidence in the integrity of these proceedings. That is